Hello everyone, and welcome back to the Minecraft series. Today's episode is episode 4 of season 14, and we are starting things back off outside of a castle, outside of the entrance point here, where in the last episode we did a lot of work on, the whole tilting and the filling in of the dirt here. And as you can see, it is actually almost finished. This whole area is now almost fully tilted. Of course, it's gonna take a while before it's actually all filled in with, the weeds that we want going on here. But yeah, it's starting to look really good. We just have that little area right there left over to fill in, and then that is all done. And then we can start terraforming the whole area around it, make the pathway actually go somewhere, all that kind of stuff. I think I might even split it off again, the pathway. That might be quite cool, but yeah, I don't know about that for just now. But yeah, this is all starting to look quite cool. I'm really happy with the progress we are making here. This all still needs to be terraformed as well. Of course, right now it's way too hilly in comparison to what's going on here. I want hills here, but not this much. So this is all going to be dimmed down a little bit at some point. But for now, all we need to worry about is just tilting the last little parts right here. Which should... Oh, that salmon is out of... Okay, he went back into the water. But yeah, this shouldn't really take all that long. This is going to be a nice little introduction to the episode, so to say. I think we'll be very quickly finished here, which is nice, because then we can start focusing on the next parts. But I'm also kind of wanting to start working on this side. I start to have some ideas. Maybe I do want to expand the size of the land that I made already a bit more. Like extend it a bit more even to here. And actually maybe make some sort of forest around it. Not fully forest, but yeah, you still want to be able to see the trees and stuff like that. But then we kind of have the cliff area right here. Where it's like, you really get the sea area on this side. Which makes sense, because this one is actually open to a big ocean almost like thing going on here, and that one is just kind of open to a swamp. Then on this side we really have like the village and just life going on next to it, so to say. There's like a whole town here, so adding in more nature here is not gonna be super well possible in a way. It's of course possible. I still want this all to be nature-fied, so to say, but yeah, it's not gonna be as big in terms of nature as I maybe want it to be. I still think maybe here a bit more as well is cool, that you barely can even notice that the castle's there when you're this close to it, right? But yeah, I think then that side is going to be more nature-like, because I wanted this to be like a big forest, but the problem is we got a big desert here, and even if I were to terraform this all into grassland, it's not gonna work, because it's just gonna look, well, like this, but then even more if we... Oh, I have the wrong thing enabled, oops. If we were to take a grass block, right, and I move it to like right here, like this is how it's gonna look, and the leaves are gonna look like that as well, and that's just not what I want. Let's throw some eggs at this chicken real quick. Oh, I missed them all. Okay, but yeah, that's not really what I want. I don't want a big nature part next to the castle to be looking that dead, so to say. So yeah, I decided maybe that's not the way to go, and maybe, just maybe, instead of that side being the nature part, this side could be. I had plans for it being like ice part as well, since there's already ice and stuff, but it's gonna be quite tricky to have that going all the way over to there. And so I thought maybe it's cooler to extend this out a little bit more, and then really get like a forest almost going on this side. Maybe even make it a little bit bushy and stuff here, and then a little segment like up until here where it's not that naturey, like kind of like it looks like it has been maintained by the people in the castle, and then here it starts becoming like a really big forest that leads into the actual forest that's already here, right? Because there's a lot of nature already here, so maybe I could expand all of this as well, and then make a huge forest going on here as well, and then we get that one side with that vibe going on as well, because that is a vibe I also want to have going, We have the as I said, the cliffside vibe, so to say, the ocean side. And we now have this side with the wheat field, where it's just very grand and very, I don't know, typical old school castles, so to say. At least in my eyes it is. And I also want just that one side where there's a huge forest next to it, almost like a dark forest, one where I don't know. I don't know if you have been into those kinds of books or stories where there's like big castles and stuff like that going on. They always had like a dark forest nearby as well, where things happened, I guess. You know, the spooky forest, so to say. And I really want to have that with this castle as well. I think that would be really nice. So I'm gonna try and create that on that side as well. But that's gonna be a bigger project than this even is. Let's be real here for a second. Because, well, you know, building a huge dark forest is it's not just simple as planting some trees down and then whoop-de-poopy-doo, it's done or anything like that. It's gonna be quite a big task, but, you know, I'm not scared of that. I actually really like doing things like that, so, yeah, I think I wanna be doing that with that side, I've decided. And as I said, I kinda want close to the castle, like, kind of the area we've already mapped out, so to say. So this section here. This I do want to just, maybe a bit bigger, but I do want to just look normal, maintained. A couple of trees, a bit of bushes, little this and that. But make it look like, you know, it's not overrun with nature, because that wouldn't make much sense. I don't think a castle would just have a wall be completely overrun with nature. You know, that would be a bit weird. But it being close to an area where it's completely overrun with nature, that is quite normal, I would say. Well, I feel like it makes sense at least. But there we go. That is the whole tilling part of this process, this project done now. It was quite a lot, let's be real, but I'm quite happy with it. I think I'm gonna curve into this part of the pathway a little bit more here, like so. It's quite funny how this is like. Is this the same height? It looks like it is. Yeah, that's quite funny. But yeah, I'm gonna curve in here a bit more. Reason being is that it's looking a bit chunky. Okay, let's just eat that food. It's looking a bit chunky from up above the pathway. And so I want to cut into it just a little bit so that it doesn't look that chunky, so to say. Because I don't fully like the way that is looking. So there we go. That is just a little cut into what is already going on. This is really something I just have to look at from above in order to really tell if that's a good way of, or what I've done is good. But yeah, this already looks cleaner, so to say. Maybe a little bit more here as well. This kind of needs to be connected and stuff, but that's fine for now. And maybe we want a little bit more right there going on, but that's for now fine. Like there, over there, it also looks a little bit too chunky, right? Like little segments right here. Looks like it can just use a bit of this, so to say. So this is, as I said, kind of just something I have to tell from up above. And now that it's all, you know, been... let's sleep away the night real quick. Now that it's all been tilted, now I can actually tell that that is needed. I couldn't tell before. But yeah, there we go. Let's sleep and drink some more water. Nice. And there we go. But yeah, now that it's all filled in, I can tell that little parts just need a little bit of reworking. But I think just like that is already quite good. Now we need to fill in all of this with dirt in order to really bring that home. So that's going to be quite a bit of work. And then we got all of this to do as well. And that's also going to be quite a bit of work. But that's fine. I feel like maybe right here it should have been like this. Just looks like it's sticking into, how do you say that? Like into the, I don't even know how to say it. It's sticking into the pathway a bit too much here. So I think I'm gonna change that up. I'm gonna, oh, this wasn't Silk Touch. Oops. It's fine. I just need to fly over here, but I thought it was Silk Touch. Oh well. There we go. I want this to just be a little bit more land-like. So just a bit like this maybe. And then now I feel like it would make a little more sense. So we need to wait for that to convert into grass in order to actually pavify it, so to say. But that's fine. That will come. And like that, that's a bit better, I think. Now we could also have a pathway just going through right here. But I don't think I want that. So yeah, we're not going to be doing that for now. Now the wheat part, the wheat fields part, so to say. Like the whole tilling. I don't know, really know. I might have been saying it wrong the whole time. But yeah, the whole tilting part is now done. I don't need to tilt anymore. Because, well, this is the size of the wheat field. So, yeah, that doesn't need to be changed anymore. All we need to do now is just expand the size of the grass area. And we're going to start out with this. So that this is already going to be grassified. So that I can carve the pathway in it as soon as possible. Now we really just got to get rid basically of the whole lake here. Maybe a river will be cool and all, but you know, 90% plus is probably going to be gone in order to complete my vision here. I mean, this is also going to be converted, of course, because, well, a pathway wouldn't just lead to a bit of ice and be like, ah, there you go. You've arrived at your destination, right? That wouldn't make any sense. So we're not going to be having it like this. For now, we will, because, you know, there's other parts that we need to focus on first. But eventually, this all needs to become a pathway to somewhere. Maybe I'm going to build like a village right here. I think that would actually be quite nice. Just an old town vibes, you know? I mean, castles did have like villages outside of them. And stuff like that. That wasn't weird at all. And we still need that side. Which makes sense to have it on... Or that vibe we still did. And it would make to have it on this side. Since this is already the more alive side of, you know... Nature being well taken care of. Like a big wheat field like that kind of course means there's work here. Because, you know, the wheat... when you think about it in like a story mode... The wheat isn't there in order to... Are you kidding me? The wheat isn't... I can't with this guy, man. Stupid squid. The wheat isn't there just to look good, of course. Normally it would be there. Okay. Normally it would... I can't. Alright, normally it would be there because, you know, it's food. You get food out of it. I couldn't get it out with that squid just committing kamikaze there. It was a bit too funny for me, but okay. Anyway, you know, the wheat field isn't actually there normally when you have a castle just to look good like I've added it. It's there for food. So, you know, it would make sense that there's then a village around it because there need to be people working on the wheat fields, right? So, yeah, I think a big old village kind of just around here already. Maybe a little bit further away, of course, but yeah, in that vibe, in this area, that would be good, I think. That would be good. I might have to look at some pictures of old castles to really see what I want to do with this area specifically. But yeah, we'll come to that later. Because as I said, there's still a lot of other work that needs to be done as well. So there's no need to focus on those kinds of details just yet. First making the rough outlines of everything and then doing the finer detailing. That's the way I like to do things. Because then it all becomes more simple in the end. If I start thinking about the details right now, and it's way too complicated and I won't even make the rough lining, you know. So that's the way I like to do things. Now it's gonna take a while for this to all spread in with grass. That is completely fine. I don't really care about that because while that is spreading, my wheat will also be growing and I can just work on that side as well. Because I kind of want to start doing these things hand in hand with each other now, like basically at the same time. So that we can really, you know, start shaping up everything that's going on. It's gonna be, once again, a big project. But hey, this whole castle project is quite big. I mean, what season did we even start? Like 9? Maybe even earlier. Maybe season 8. I don't really remember. But yeah, we're like at least 5 seasons into building this castle now, which is, you know, 50 hours. It's like a lot of time. Of course, it wasn't all fully spent on just this, all of those seasons, but a good part of it. There's probably 50 hours that have already gone into this project. Wouldn't surprise me. And there's gonna definitely be 50 more hours going into it. You know, we got a long way to go here for it's all finished. We still don't have an entrance yet, but it is just looking. Just having this in front of it makes it look so much more solid. I really do need to make the entrance. I think I'm gonna be designing that soon. Like, after a couple of episodes, I'm gonna start designing it. I'm basically just gonna make a copy of this world with creative mode access. And then just design it in world, so to say. So that I can actually have a feel for it. Because if I have to rebuild all of this in a creative world to just have a test with it, that's not gonna work anymore. Like I did it before, that's now not gonna work, I don't think. So I'm gonna be doing it, like I said, basically with a copy of this world and then making a design. I already have big plans for what I want to add to basically the whole castle that we got going on right now. I still want to add a lot of building parts to it. Because we need more towers. I've started to realize in order to actually make it feel like a castle and not just some big walls, so to say, because that is kind of how it's feeling right now, like just some big walls. We of course need a grand entrance, that is definitely gonna help, but we also just need more towers. So what I kind of have in mind, let's see, let's finish this little segment right here. There we go. What I kind of have in mind is basically there will be another tower sort of on top of this tower. Where, let's see if we just were to fly up here real quick. Right here we of course have this big like circle. Right now it's not a circle, but once we have this segment in place as well, it will be a circle. And basically maybe like around here, this line, and on the other side as well, there will be an extension to the tower, kind of going a little bit higher again. That will add, and then there will be little towers basically right here on those diagonal parts. Maybe a bit more on the straight parts on all the other sides. I don't know just yet. I haven't planned it out, of course, fully yet. This is just a rough idea for now. But on those parts, we'll have little towers as well. Not going as high as this one will be, but going higher than this one is right now. So kind of going up like here. And then we have those towers that will all just be having flags and stuff like that. And doing it like that will definitely make it feel already more like an actual castle. Because castles have like a lot of towers, I've started to realize. So yeah, just little castles like that, adding more detail to it. Then we of course need the more thickness to the walls, because right now they're just a shine thing. If you go next to them, you can see, oh, it's just one block thick, right? We need to change that up, make the walls way thicker, or at least give the illusion that they're way thicker, and have like pathways going on around here. They're already here, but you know, there needs to be another side to this pathway, not just this side, but actually this side as well. I think I'm going to be making this like 5 blocks wide on each part. Kind of that size we'll be having going on. And then there will be another segment of the wall on the other side, basically. And that will like allow us to have that grand feeling to it. And then the towers will make more sense as well and stuff like that. That is kind of what I'm envisioning right now. Still a lot of work, still a lot of work, but hey, we can kind of from now on combine that work with the work of the exterior. I just need to get designing on that, which I'm not gonna be doing in the next 2 episodes. I will already say that, but I think after that I will, because then, yeah, then it will be ready. So in a couple of episodes time, we'll probably start working on actually building up the castle itself more again, and then I might just go back and forth, maybe even every single episodes between the nature and the side views and the building of the castle. So I will be doing a wall segment. And then I will be doing a tree segment. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of that kind of vibe I want to start. Or that kind of, how do you say, flow? Maybe that's a good word. Like the flow of just going back and forth, back and forth. That I want to start creating soon. Not right now, as I said. A couple more episodes without it. But soon we'll be having that. And then, I don't know. That I feel like that will be really efficient and really just nice. Makes me not think about just one thing at a time the whole time, but actually, you know, keeps it interesting by going back and forth. Yeah, I think that will be quite great. Anyway, let's sleep away this night real quick. There we go. Drink some more water. Oh, there we go. Alright. Enough yapping about all of that. We still got more land to fill in here. And we'll be keeping on doing it. Fill it all in for today. That is basically our big goal right now. Have all of this just fully filled in. Shouldn't actually take all that long, I don't think. It is just a really simple task. It's just a matter of, you know, placing down dirt and waiting for grass to spread. And then we do have the bit more tedious task of having to terraform this little area. But I think it will be quite fine. We do have to get rid of this sand real quick. I think terraforming all of this will be quite simple, since it doesn't actually need to be cut down that much. It just needs a little shave. Like, there being a hill here is fine, as I said before. It's more so that it's just a bit too hilly and to in comparison to what we already had going on, and that I do not like. But the actual little hill going on here is nice, because what that creates is like a bit of a higher view on top of the wheat field, which is way better than just having a flat view, because once this is all grown, it will be quite a lot to look at from right here. But if you're just standing at this height, then you can take it in better, so to say. So having that little height advantage when we are further away from the field, that is definitely gonna be a good thing. But you know, not too much, so to say, because we don't want to take away from the field. It's all a bit complicated, but we'll get there. We'll get there over time. Over time, bit by bit. There we go. For now, we just have to place down a lot of dirt. And I do mean a lot. I'm happy I saved all of my dirt. I never had lands like this, of course, when I was saving it back in the day. But I'm happy that I did just save, like, at least the amount of dirt that I did. I probably threw away a lot of stacks as well, don't get me wrong. But the amount that I did save, I'm already happy with that amount. Like, that is just a nice bonus, so to say, because this is all dirt I don't have to mine. If I run out of dirt, which should still take a little while, but if I do, then I just start cutting down this hill, and then I will get my dirt from that again. I want to, you know, avoid digging dirt just to dig dirt. That feels like it would be really bad, since, you know, there's always dirt somewhere that needs to be gone anyway, so I don't know, it feels like a waste of time to just dig dirt from an area where it doesn't need to be gone, because I need more dirt blocks. So yeah, I'm gonna try and avoid that, but hey, you never know, I might have to end up doing it. Okay, I actually somehow didn't trample any of the dirt there. That's quite crazy. How have you not even spread one block yet? What? Are you just taking a nap here or something? What is going on? What? Look at how much this has already spread. Look at that. Way more. Oh well. Oh well. That's fine. There we go. Funny thing with grass is always the more it spreads, the faster it goes. And then eventually it all of a sudden goes super quick. In the beginning it's super slow, but then all of a sudden, boom. Very quick. Always quite cool. Oh, I just heard a loud noise. Alright, there we go. This is another little grid. Grid it off in a second here. That's quite nice. And it is already gonna be, once again, feeling a lot different probably once I filled all of this in, because just the whole lake is gone. It's gonna feel so much more grand. I'm really happy that I've decided to just get rid of the lake here completely. I don't think that was a good thing for our build here, so to say. I think I might have to... Yeah, I'm gonna cut down this jungle tree here. Not because I need jungle wood right now, but I'm just gonna cut it down so that I get some saplings. And then I'm gonna move it to right there so that I have a new view on all of this. Since this is now also starting to be included, I think that will be a little bit better. Because right now I don't actually know what's going on anymore, you know what I'm saying? So yeah, we're gonna get rid of all of this. There we go. Oh, we're gonna get a lot of fine breaking noises, but it's fine. Also need to get some more chicken in a second. Wait, can I not? Oh, we can do that now. Oh, I'm not happy with that. Oh, that's gonna be horrible when we start building on the castle again. Yeah, that's gonna be awful. Don't know what to say about that, but yeah, stripping logs is now a thing. Don't get me wrong, I think it's a good thing that they added that to the game. It's just horrible with access, because I always right click to eat and stuff like that, so I make that mistake basically all of the time. I've never learned to stop doing that. And maybe that's a me issue, but I blame them, alright? I blame them. And I know that's very unfair, but I don't care. I do not care. Go for the sticks. Pick up all of the blocks here. Hopefully we get enough saplings. Otherwise I do believe we have a little backstash of saplings, so there's no need to be worried. But the whole idea of cutting down this tree was to get the saplings. I don't really care about the woods, I'm gonna be real honest. But hey, you know, it's a nice bonus, so might as well take it with me. Alright, there we go. I mean, there's still... Oh no, there's not. Did I cut down all of the trees here? Oh no, there's still some trees, but I don't even know if I planted those. Oh well, doesn't matter. Okay, I somehow have an idea still. I think there's definitely no new iron in there. Alright, thing is not working anymore. Cool. Doesn't matter. It's not like I really care about minerals and stuff that much anymore. We're kind of just past that point in the game now, I guess. Which is quite funny. Like, my whole playstyle has definitely changed, I feel like, over the years. It's quite funny when you think about it, because, yeah, back in the day I was quite focused on, you know, building just farms. Like, if you look at my old series, it's always farms. That was the most important thing, machines and having everything automated and just having all the resources that I could need. And the idea behind it for me was always, you know, if I have all the resources, then I can easily build a base, however I want it to be. But I never built the base because I was just busy with getting the materials I will need. And it's not like I see that as a bad way of playing the game. In fact, that's completely fine. I really enjoyed it back then. So, you know, if I liked it back then that's fine, right? You gotta play the game the way you like to play the game, not the way you think you're supposed to. You're supposed to have fun. That's really the only thing. So, you know, it's not like it mattered. But now looking back on it, I'm like, I did just change the way I now look at the game and how I play. Because now I'm really not that busy with farms anymore. The only farms I build are the ones that I need in order to, you know, at least somewhat have to not worry about things. Like the gunpowder and the sugarcane and stuff like that. I have farms for that so that I at least don't need to worry about those things. But I build those farms within like an hour, basically. Or, well, the sugarcane farm, maybe the creeper farm took a little bit longer, especially in the versions that I built it. But, you know, they were just quickly built. They're not super efficient or anything, but they're efficient enough to maintain the amount of items I need. They're not building millions of rockets for me, but I don't need to care about that because I don't need millions of rockets. So, yeah, I started to realize, or I started to change the way I do that now. Like, I have a chicken farm, but it's just about fast enough for me to get enough food for forever, but not, like, so efficient that it can fill a double chest within an hour or anything, because I just don't need to care about that, right? And that is something that definitely changed. Back in the day, I was really like, the more I got, the better. Even if I don't need it, like I just like the idea of having a lot of it. I really like, for example, having just a wither skull farm that would give me hundreds of wither skulls an hour or something ridiculous like that, so that I could have all the beacons I would want. Even though I didn't need them, I just wanted to have a lot of them because that's cool. But then I'm like, you know, it's quite fun to just, when I need a new beacon, which is basically never, but if I do need a new beacon, you know, it's fun to go and just kill some wither skeletons, just hunt them down, right? Actually make it feel like something special when I get that. Oh, it already grew. Yeah, let's quickly look here. Yes, this is the view I wanted to get here. Now we get a big overview of it, and you can really see I've actually done a pretty good job at making it circular, this thing. I don't know what's going on there. We'll have to check it out in a second. You can see it's actually quite circular around the whole base here, so to say. So I like that. I like that. I like that. And I cannot wait for it to be all gold. Oh, I had a little burp. Yeah, for it to be all golden. What's going on here? Oh, okay. We'll just make water here, I guess. I will have to fix that later, but not right now. As I was saying, though, you know, now that I've changed that, I'm just like, if I want wither skulls, then I can actually have fun just killing some wither skeletons, and, you know, the grind of getting the wither skulls is actually worth something again. Because, you know, if I just have an infinite amount of wither skulls, then getting a new beacon isn't special or anything. And now, if I get a new beacon, it's like, we actually have a pretty big task ahead of us now, right? And as I said, I liked both, or I liked that way of playing back then, so I don't have anything against it. I just now don't like that way anymore, so to say, or at least I'm enjoying this at the moment more. Which is quite just an interesting thing to think about, like how that kind of just changes. Maybe it's because I started playing in old versions again, and in the beginning I just didn't have access to those farms. Because I feel like in the beginning I was definitely trying to make more farms. Let's see, let's sleep away this night again and drink some more water. But yeah, in the beginning of the series I might have been a bit more obsessed with trying to make farms for everything. But then I started to realize I couldn't, so I was a bit lost even with that, so to say. It's like, oh, I cannot make a tree farm because TNT duping doesn't exist, or TNT doesn't even drop all of the blocks, or bone meal doesn't even work like that. There's not even dispensers yet, you know, stuff like that, or dispensers just basically don't work yet. Kind of things like that, like how the zombie farm was in the beginning. I remember I had a whole mechanism made for how long the lava would be dispensed, and then I found out dispensers doesn't even, you know, dispense lava. They just spit it out. They spit out the whole bucket. So then I had to crush them and all that kind of stuff, because I wasn't used to not being able to make farms for everything. But slowly I feel like I just adjusted and started to realize like I don't need farms for everything that I'm doing, you know. It's not like any project that I'm doing is so incredibly big that I need millions of blocks of any kind. So I stopped caring really about making farms, which is really, really interesting. Oh, it's quite funny. Now I'm just like, yeah, I'm just building on projects. Basically, most of the series is just building. Even if it's just filling in a large area of water with dirt, it's still just me building. It's not, you know, me making a farm for getting all that dirt or anything. Yeah, I don't know, but it's quite funny. And once I'm done with the building, I'm like, okay, what am I gonna build next? You know, that's kind of the way I do things. And sometimes it's exploring, especially in the beginning when all kinds of new... Is this all... Oh, this was already here, I think. In the beginning, when there was like every now and then an update where there was just new things to explore. That's fun, but it quickly got like, okay, now I've seen it, I'm going back to, you know, just building. And I feel like that's definitely only the case since I have already explored those things in the past already with normal Minecraft, right? Like, I've already seen millions of desert temples. I spent like a whole 1 or 2 episodes trying to find one when it got introduced, but it's not actually that special, you know. It's not like I'm gonna try and find even more after that because they're new or anything, because to me they're not that new anymore. They're just new in this series. Oh my goodness, it's all filled in. This is gonna take a really long time to get grassified, but that's fine. Let's see, this is silk touch. Ooh, we gotta grassify all of this as well. This is gonna take quite some work, but that's fine. But this is awful though. Hold on, let me just get to land. There we go. Let me just carve this out. I'll get back to my little yippity yap rant in a second. Just need to get all of this fixed. There we go. Yeah, it's a bit weird. I have to dig out the ice first before I can fill it in. But that's fine, I suppose. Now all of this dust will actually... This will actually flow to the top, so that's nice. Like it didn't do that before, of course, but now we're in 1.13, I think. Yeah, 1.13. It does float, so that's nice. Anyway, as I was saying, I kind of forgot what I was saying. I don't know anymore. Oh yeah, about exploring, I think. Was I talking about that? I think so. There was something about, you know, exploring is fun for a little while, but since I've already seen most of the things that get reintroduced, I'd maybe do it for 1 or 2 episodes and then just get back to, you know, just doing the things I was already doing. And that changed over time as well. Like before it was... Like in the beginning, I actually, when there was an update, I kind of prepared for it and was really focused on it for a little while and around it as well. Around that update moment. But then the further I got into the series, the less I started to care about updates. Like for example, the update Aquatic, I was like, yeah, it's cool, I can now swim, I guess. I don't care. I'm not gonna build a kelp farm or anything so that I can smelt my things efficiently. I'm not gonna be here going out for the trident, maybe at some point, but it's not like I'm doing that first things. Because I want to build on my castle, you know. I don't care about all of that stuff anymore. Like, it's not like by the time we get to the trial chambers, I'm gonna be like, oh my goodness, I have to play the trial chambers or anything like that. I just don't really care. I don't really care anymore, which is really interesting because I do think it's really cool that all of those things got added into the game. But my perception, like the way I view the game now and what I like to do has changed so much that I just don't care about the exploring part all that much anymore, which is crazy because I always always did care about that, but now I just don't really do that anymore because I like the building part so much more, which is quite funny, you know. And I've heard of like a lot of people that they, you know, play the game for like maybe 10 years plus and just never beat the Ender Dragon. And before I couldn't really understand that, like how would you not have beaten the Ender Dragon yet, right? Like why wouldn't you do that? It's so fun to explore and just play that part of the game. But now with this series, I understand it more. I mean, I still love the Elytra, and I'm really happy that I got it, especially since that my projects got into this size, right? Like now that it's all just this big, I do feel like I need to have an Elytra. Well, I don't need it, but it just makes it quicker, makes it more efficient. But that's about it, right? And I'm starting to really understand why some people have just never beaten the game, because I mean, it's not that important if you play this side of the game way more, so to say. So now I'm starting to understand it, which is just a funny. Oh, I'm out of dirt. Funny change to have happened slowly over time with playing this series. This has started to grow a lot quicker than I thought it would. I probably should harvest it again. I know it's not fully grown, but it's good enough. And if I wait for those last little bits, that's probably gonna take just as long as it has already taken to do this. So that would be a little bit inefficient. So I'm gonna actually have a harvest right now. So let's put this all away. There we go. And let's have a harvest here. But yeah, the way my whole view on the game and how I play the game and how I like to play it has changed a lot with mainly this series. Maybe with just time and, you know, with me changing as well, I suppose. I mean, you always change a little bit as a person, right? So maybe just by time having gone by, I changed the way I like the game as well, but I definitely feel like it's also a lot to do with this series specifically. The way it all changed now is quite funny to, you know, take a step back and look at that and just think about it. Like, whoa, that is just a lot of difference, so to say. That is just different to how I was before. I don't know, I really like it, and as I said, I'm really enjoying playing the game like I'm doing right now. So there's really nothing wrong with changing that perspective. But I feel like maybe if you're starting to enjoy the game a bit less at some point, maybe that's just what you need to do. Just try and play it in a different way and see maybe you just like to play it in a different way now. I don't know. I am no doctor. Let's just say it like that. I don't know. I don't even know what to say here. But yeah, I'm no professor in this aspect or anything. But you know, this is how I how do you say it? Went through it and what I have experienced. So I thought it might be interesting to share my thoughts on that. Oh my goodness, I'm getting a lot of seeds. What on earth? This is definitely way more than last time. So that's good. That's of course what we want. But I feel like it's like a lot more than I even expected it would be than last time. Let's see, we should have like a separate wheat chest here. For now it will be here, but I need to actually fill it out with purely wheat and not random extra things as well. But there we go. By the end of this we're gonna have so much wheat, which is gonna be really nice, because the next version I can trade quite easily wheat for emeralds, so that's gonna be great because we're gonna make a lot of money with that, and with that also a lot of XP, which I'm gonna need because oh my goodness, mending and stuff. I cannot believe, I kind of want to double check this, but I cannot believe the endermites are not in the game yet. That has to be wrong. I must have just missed them adding endermites, because there's no way that endermites got introduced in the same version as the whole villager update. I could not believe that. That must be wrong. Like, there's just no way. I'm gonna double check it after this episode. See, I will let you know in the next one, I guess. But see if there's actually still not endermites in the game. If there's not, that's ridiculous. Like, there's no way the villager update got the same, like, introduced at the same time as endermites. I could not believe that. I don't know. In my head, that just doesn't make any sense. I feel like I'm not going to be the only one with that either. Like, I feel like that's very relatable, if that's actually the case. My mending elytra... Well, my elytra has also started to wear down a little bit. So I'm going to have to get some XP soon again on that. But for now, it's still fine. I mean, I have plenty more elytras, I believe, so I could just swap elytra for a little while if I'm really lazy, so to say. But there we go. Yeah, we are definitely going to be expanding the wheat field now. I once again didn't actually check to what point it came, but hey, I have a rough estimate, so to say. Let's just sleep another night away. Ah! What? There's a baby zombie! Oh, wait. Oh my goodness, a chicken jockey as well. Oh my god. Alright, let's sleep away this night and drink some more water. There we go. It's a chicken jockey. My goodness. I take that. Stupid idiot. Luckily, we're not in a boxing ring here. Alright, there we go. What was I saying? I really don't remember. I might have an issue with like remembering short-term things I was talking about. Was I just talking about an endermite? Is that really what I was talking about? That is all I remember right now. But I cannot believe that I was just only talking about endermites. I don't know why I couldn't believe that, but that doesn't make any sense to me. This is really weird. My brain has come completely blank. Oh well. Moving on to the next topic. I might have just completely ignored a whole story and just started a new one here. But I genuinely cannot remember the slightest thing I was talking about. So yeah, oops, I suppose. Oopsie poopsie. Anyway, what I do know is that we're starting to really get somewhere with these wheat field now. Maybe I should just start planting them in strips. Because, you know, seeds and things in Minecraft grow faster when they're in like a row instead of like bunched together, like I'm doing right now. And I guess, you know, growing it fast is nice, but to be fair, I literally replanted this whole thing in the last episode. I don't know why the first time it took that long. Maybe I was just really nitpicky and seeing like a singular one of these and being like, no, I need to wait until it's all wheat. But I guess maybe that is it, or maybe it's just started growing faster in this version. I don't know. But yeah, I guess if I do it once an episode, that's already plenty for me. I did say in the last one, I was like, you know, this is already way too tedious, so I'm happy that I don't need to do it every episode. That's what I said. And now I'm having to do it on every episode, so I'm not gonna actually plant them in strips in order to make it go faster, because then I just need to do it more often. So I don't actually feel like doing that, even though it's better because I want this to be done as quickly as possible. I don't really feel like putting in that work, so I'm not gonna be doing that. So there you go. I don't know if you care about it, but I've said it. I said it and I said it, okay? I believe we were around this point before. I mean, that one is still there. So everything that we plan now is new, and we still have quite a good amount of stacks here. I feel like one stack almost gets me a full strip. Maybe it does now, since it's getting slimmer, of course, one of these strips. So that's pretty good. That's definitely quite a good amount of strips still left over. And with a strip, I mean like a too wide area, right? Let's see. We're just gonna use this stack now. See how far that gets us in this strip, so to say. I think it's gonna get us almost fully done. Of course, I used a little bit of the other stack, but that's fine for now. Just keep that into account. Yeah, it looks like it's just a little bit, like maybe 1.5 stack, and then I'm maybe even a little bit less, and then I have a full strip. So, you know, we still have like at least one full strip to go, and then maybe half of one still as well. So that's pretty good. That's definitely pretty good, because we're starting to get quite close to the end of this segment. So, yeah, nice. Nice, we're making progress. Slowly, very, very slowly, let's be clear here, but steadily, and that's the part that matters. Alright, and then comes that, there we go, and we might even be able to fully finish a new strip here still, which is amazing, absolutely amazing. But yeah, back in the day, I mean, you can look at the old series, they're really old. I was quite young back then as well. But yeah, back in the day when I started with all of this, I did, you know, the sicker survival world and stuff like that, and I was building with a lot of redstone. I was actually quite a redstoner back then. I don't know if I was really good or anything. I'm not gonna be saying that, but I did a lot of redstone, that I do know. And I was building a lot of farms and also in survival. Ooh, yeah, that is a noticeable difference. Not super noticeable, don't get me wrong. It's not like a major difference, but it is slowly expanding. And this is also starting to look quite cool. I need to fill in this as well. Oh well, that's for now just still fine. This is starting to look good. I really want to expand it all the way over there so that it's also looking good there. And yeah, I'm happy with the way it's going right now. Let's see. Oh, wait, I have way more seed. Oh, you guys don't tell me anything, do you? Jeez, you could have been nice and said I had more seeds. Oh my goodness. There we go. But yeah, back in the day with the sicker survival world, I was really just focused on farms and efficiency and stuff like that. And I guess towards the ending, like towards the point where I didn't make any episodes anymore, I did start building on that mushroom island like a lot, and actually started terraforming. Like all of my terraforming skills, the thing that I did on the back of the base here, that is just straight up copy and paste from what I did back then. Like I still remember it back then, and I did it better back then because I put in a lot more time and I have way more blocks for it. And as I said, at that point I was so efficient with everything. I had basically infinite access to anything I wanted. So hey, this finally started to spread a little bit. But yeah, we had farms for basically everything. Basically anything and everything you can imagine, we had farms for it. Let's reorganize this real quick. There we go. There, alright, nice. But yeah, what I learned with terraforming, like how I did this cliff, that I did that a lot more in that series. Like this takes me back to that series. In fact, like the way this looks just reminds me of that. How do we say this? Let's see. Let's grab myself some more dirt here. Hold on. Give me a second before I move on to my story. I'm gonna try and actually remember what I was talking about, so don't be worried. I will not just doze off again fully. At least I hope. There. Oh, those are the wrong boxes. They're a bit empty again, so I'm just gonna fill them up real quick. But yeah, back then towards the ending I started really focusing actually on building, which is quite funny now that I think about it. I guess I did eventually start focusing on that, but I never got super far with it. I mean, don't get me wrong, I was really happy with how my mushroom island was starting to look. I did a lot of terraforming on it and a lot with nature as well and bushes and everything like that, and I was quite proud of how that was starting to look. Okay, like yeah, actually really happy with it. And I guess I started to enjoy it at that point as well, but in comparison I feel like I've probably done more now already in this world. And I spent a lot of time in that world, don't get me wrong here. Let's see if we maybe have some more dirt down here. That's not looking all that promising. Oh, 8 more. Wobbly wobbly do. Look at that. No, okay. Maybe we have some more down in the quarry, in the mines. That could be the case. I mean, probably not in here, no. I'm really interested to see what is going to happen to this guy with the Eye of Ender trait. Like, if that stays, that's so cool. To just have a villager in your world, like, in 1.20, that just has a trait of Eye of Ender. I mean, just think about that, right? Like, that's so crazy. If you were to ask me, at least, I think that's quite crazy to just have that. But yeah, I mean, it's of course not... Wait, I could just trade that in order to make my end crystals. Oh. I never thought about that. Huh. Oh well. But yeah, just having that would be really quite cool. Let's see... Where else can I check? Down in the quarry, that's what I said. Right, there we go. Ooh, maybe here as well, actually. Just a little bit of dirt. Every little bit counts a bit. Just some finds there, I guess. Might be some here as well, but we'll have to see. That's not water. Here there is water. Hello, haven't been down here in quite some time. Gotta be real honest, but look at that, there is some dirt. How lovely. Actually a pretty good amount of dirt, probably because of the sugarcane farm. Might have moved quite a bit down here in order to have that. What on earth is going on here? Got more dirt. Hey, look at that. This has been working in the background, hasn't it? Nice. More dirt. And here we have just all of that. That's also quite nice to just have. Oh my goodness! Oh, that's a lot of sugarcane. Alright, hold on. Let me just quickly go and make a little chest for that. Hold on. That's like way too much. There. I didn't realize this sugarcane farm was so great. I mean, it's kind of what happens when you just play in a world for basically hundreds of hours. I mean, we're not at hundreds yet, but we're already over 100 hours in this world. But yeah, there we go. So that's nice. We have like a lot of sugarcane there. At least we're not gonna run out of that. Bit more dirt, bit more dirt. Alright. Okay. And this appears to be all of the dirt that we have in this world now. So, uh-oh. Well, it's fine for now. It's fine for now. Like, this is what I mean, right? Like, these are definitely not super efficient farms, but they're efficient enough for me to maintain what I need in this world, so to say, which is what I like. That makes me happy, because they're just simple things. Whoa! I just heard the farm, or yeah, the mob farm. I think that was like they're just simple things, simple redstone, with simple results, but they give me what I need. All right, let's sleep away this night and drink some more water here. And let's see, maybe we have some dirt in here as well. No. That's actually quite crazy that we just don't have any dirt here. Oh well. We just have a bunch of random little guys here. Oh well, we have like a good amount of dirt here for a little while, so I'm not too worried about it for now. Let's go and grab that. There we go. And this should get us quite far. And this is all starting to look good with the grass as well. Alright, back to filling it in. And back to the story I was telling. I promise you, I was actually gonna keep on yapping about it. As I was saying, with that world, towards the ending, I think that is where I left off. I started to build quite a bit more. I started actually enjoying building. Which is quite fun. Like, maybe it started at that point, but then I ended that series. Well, the series just I stopped uploading. Let's just say it like that. There was no real interest in it anymore for me. I think I didn't even play Minecraft for a little while at that point, and then I just started playing Hypixel Skyblock for quite a good chunk of time. Till eventually I quit that as well, and then I started this series. But yeah, that's already... Ooh, like more than a year ago, probably 1.5, something like that, years ago now. Which is crazy. Time flies, I suppose. Time flies. Alright, boom, boom, boom. I'm gonna fill in all of this. Yeah, so I do think I want to expand the size of this, because now it wouldn't make any sense anymore. Like, what we had going on when I was making this made sense. Because this land was just kind of going to go up to that point. But now it's definitely not making any sense anymore. Because, well, look at the size of this land mass and then it just shrinks down to that. No, that doesn't make any sense. I kind of like the way this was starting to go. I mean, it of course got cut off at some point. This was just... What happened here? How has this happened in world generation? How's that grass here? I actually don't know how this is possible. But whatever. Okay, we're gonna ignore that. I think it's actually gonna have to be... Is that... How's the gunpowder? What? Wait, this is actually really confusing. How on earth is the gunpowder right there? Is there like a cave here that... Creeper swim. Oh, did this creeper just swim up here and drowned or something? What? Okay, I'm getting distracted by the strangest things right now. Hold on. Alright. We're just gonna keep going. Yeah, so I think I mean, this landmass right here, we're gonna expand as well. I don't even know if this part of the lake is gonna stay, but I think I do want this part of the lake to stay. I think I kind of want this to be a frozen over area, like it already kind of is. This looks quite cool as well. Like, look at how this is just normal terrain. Looks quite cool. Oh, I'm not working anymore. There we go. Yeah, now that the trees are gone, this actually looks pretty cool. Anyway, I think I do want a... Maybe let me just land over there. I do want a frozen over lake here, so to say. Let's just land here. There we go. So, basically, have it maybe cut off right around there. And then have like a little frozen over lake. That would be quite cool. And then here it kind of starts turning into the big forest, right? So we just have like this segment. I think that would be cool. Doing it like that would be better. But that means that right around here we'll have to cut off and just it being frozen. Because I kind of like the idea of it being frozen here. Just because, why not, right? And then this is all gonna be land and over here as well. So here it kind of does the same thing as it did over here, right? At some point. It's not really doing it anymore now, but... I mean, we're gonna get rid of this as well. We're basically gonna eliminate the whole river that's going on there, but we'll ignore that for now. But yeah, how it's gonna work is we'll just have a little lake here of ice in the middle of our landmass, but then this is all gonna be land. So, hey, a lot of terraforming still to do. That's fine. That's fine. I'm not too worried about that. That is the whole fun. But this is how we're gonna continue this landmass. So that's gonna be a big difference from what I had in mind originally right there. But let's just get going on this so that the grass can at least spread along this line already. I think that's a good idea. Because then once this is all filled in with dirt, the grass can actually start spreading from all sides in. Which will just allow it to spread at least a little bit faster. And at some point I will dig this into an actual good looking frozen over lake. Right now it's going to be having some really rough edges here, of course, with the way I mined it out right now. But that's fine, we'll fix that later, far into the future. Not too worried about that kind of stuff yet. There, and there. And now we got the very tedious work of turning all of this into dirt. Yep, that's gonna take some time. We're just gonna start mining most of this here. And we're gonna get a lot of ice out of it. That is the nice part. And that's really nice because with ice, I also need to fill in the lake. But it's gonna be handy at some point, just having a lot of ice laying around. I already know it. So that's good. We might even get a little bit too much ice. You know what? I think I should save for this piece of gunpowder. I think I should. Put it right here. Okay. There we go. If I stop telling my story some point during this episode again, I do apologize. I'm not too good at that stuff. When I get distracted, I kind of just forget. And I mean, it's kind of a one-sided conversation here. So, you know, you cannot even help me remind what I was talking about. So that's, yeah, that's normally when I'm talking to people and I forget what I'm talking about because I got distracted. At least they will be like, yeah, you were talking about this, you know, but that's not even an option right now. So it's just how it is. It's just how it is. I do apologize. There's nothing I can do about it. Oh my goodness, my pickaxe is not gonna like this though. That I already know. My pickaxe is gonna be suffering a lot again. Oh, I cannot mine like this as well. Ugh. At least I can mine like this at this level. That's quite nice. I will enjoy that for as long as I can. And then I will just have to start digging down. There we go. Yeah, loads of ice. We're already also near the end of today's episode for time. Which is quite sad, because I'm really enjoying this. But yeah, you know. Time is time. Time is time. I'm happy we filled in that segment already over there. That's like a big chunk of dirt just filled in already. That's really good. The wheat is making good progression as well. And now we just have to make a lot of progression on this area here, so to say, with the ice. Which is gonna take some time, I'm gonna be real honest. This is definitely not gonna be a one episode and done kind of thing, probably. I mean, yeah, no. This is gonna take a couple of seasons, the whole idea that I just mapped out here. But hey, it's fine. I said this in the last episode and even maybe in this episode, I don't even remember as well. I was like, you know, since it's good, it takes a lot of time, but that kind of makes it more worth it, so to say. Because if it was easy, and you got it instantly, then it wasn't as special anymore. And it's not that special. So I'm happy that it's a big project. Because then I can actually be proud of it when it's done, you know? Then I can actually be proud of it. That's the whole idea. Right, there we go. This is already a good amount of the ice at least eliminated. We only have like a little segment left over here. Which for now I'm not gonna do yet, because there's a good chance that if I do it, it just gets frozen over again. That's something I do have to remember. It can probably just freeze again. So, you know, all of this will not freeze again because there's no water. So, there's no worry. But like here, ice already started to freeze again. So, I don't trust it, you know. There we go. That is a good chunk of ice all gone. And let's see. We'll just take out some dirt and put some ice. There we go. But with that, we're actually out of time already for today. I'm just gonna go ahead and pick up as much ice here as I can. Which I can do by swimming, which is super cool. So nice. Thank you, Mojang, for adding swimming into the game. This update came out like 10 years ago, I believe. No, maybe not. Maybe I'm 8 years. I think 8 years. That was something like that. I don't know. It came out a long time ago, though. That I do know. Yeah, it was like 8 years. That's crazy. Alright, let's take a little screenshot of the day right on this tree. Because this is our new little tree area. And look at that. Look at just how cool all of this looks, right? Let's see, we'll also sleep away the night here in a second. But yeah, I think this is starting to look really quite special. Alright, let's sleep away the night, drink some more water. And there we go. With that, I am happy for today. I hope you all enjoyed it. I want to thank you all very much for watching. And I will see you all in the next one. So yeah, for now, goodbye.